it's Mrs. Hewitt here. I'm going over your final project really quickly and in detail. So let's take a look. So something that's really going to help you is every day when you look at your activity, this pops up. And this lays out exactly what you need to do every day. The other two are not as important, but take a look and read through this. So yesterday, you will work toward compiling an anthology by first reflecting on the meaning of identity. So that's the goal of today. You're going to complete an anticipation guide and watch the video on the theme of identity, the Batman video, it's awesome. Then you're going to do a discussion. Then you're going to review the material of the course, and then you are going to look at some research strategies, and then you're going to create an annotated bibliography after learning about what the format and purpose is, and you're going to submit that annotated bibliography for your anthology. Okay, so that's the three things we need to do today. So let's take a quick little look. So it explains what an anthology is, and an anthology is a collection of selected writings by various authors using the same literary form of the same period or the same subject. As a culminating task for this course, you will create an anthology that expresses your understanding of the theme of identity. So you're going to create, and I recommended doing a Google site and using the Google News sites for that. Websites will work, but I really want you to try and use Google Sites if you can, because that's a skill that you're going to need to have, and it's really easy to use. And also they're secure in terms of just thinking about online privacy and that sort of thing. So that's what you're doing, is you're creating a sort of collection of things, and you want to do a really good job with that. So it talks about what identity is. Great video, watch that. There's a discussion to talk about. Review the course content. In the chart, if you've already done it, don't worry about it, but in the chart, the units, it says unit 2, 1, and then it has the disinhibition article, the online disinhibition effect. That actually is unit 2 and 2, so you can look that up, as well as if you want to use for unit 2, 1, you could look at the Facebook liking article. And then the Secret Path Channing Wenjack stuff, you can use it just for one of them. So instead of having why don't I just show you the chart? So instead of having, there it's right there. So instead of having, there you go. So instead of, oh, I need to plug in my computer. So here, so this can go here, then do the Facebook liking article here, and then Secret Path and this can join up together. Not a big deal. The whole goal is to see, can you sort of think about what we were looking at all semester, if you will, and can you kind of figure out how it connects to identity. So then you want to think of a thesis. So for example, the theme of identity is huge, but you could talk about, for example, finding your identity. That's a little bit more specific. Or finding the importance of finding your passion and finding, and finding who you are through that. Maybe it could be even faith-based, right? It could be how faith can help you with your identity. You want to try and be specific. The theme of identity is really broad, and if you want a level 4, you're not going to get that by just finding these random things that connect to identity as a whole. You want to really focus that in on something specific. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to look at the Google thing here. It talks about how to Google well. You also could use the online database tools that you should have learned to use at school. This, I believe, is a great place to find things, as well as TED Talks, movies. There's so many things you can look at. So my favorite, this site is awesome. There's no theme of identity as a theme, but if you find articles, for example, this Tony Hawk one is one of my favorites. It talks about doing what you love. And that essay is about finding what you love. And for him, that's what's given him his purpose in life. And that's something that relates to identity. So, for example, your theme could be do what you love, and you could be inspired by this essay. That could be your whole thing, and you could find some texts that go with that. You know something about books that you've read at school, or at in your own time? Google young adult fiction identity and see what pops up, and take a look at some of those and see that. So yesterday's task was to do an annotated bibliography, and so what that is your works cited page. But the way you hand it in is, it's kind of like the first thing you hand in for an essay. So you have your source, and then you explain your source. And if you go through this, explains it super, super well. So take a look at all that so you know how to do that. There's a criteria checklist. Take a look at that. You need to have 5 fiction and nonfiction texts, variety of media formats, and then you need to make sure that you do all those things. Okay? There's a rubric as well. You can look at that. Okay, so that was yesterday. Today, this is your job. Take a look at this. You're going to review your anthology selections. You're going to choose 3 texts. You are going to do 3 analyses of them, and 1 is going to be recorded as an oral response. Then you're going to find a partner to peer edit, and then you're going to give that feedback. You're going to hand that in, and I'll look at it. And then you're going to revise your written analyses and record the thing, and then you're going to reflect on some stuff. Okay, so that's today. So that's not too bad in terms of it's a lot of work, but it's not like too bad in terms of what you need to do. So pick 3 of your things, and it goes through here what you need to do for each of those. And then 1 you're going to record orally, so make sure that you do that. Take a look at your speech feedback to help with that. And then you're going to find a partner. So either you find a partner, someone that you know, or send me an email when you are ready, like you have your stuff ready to take a look at, and I will partner you up with someone who also is ready. I don't want to partner you up with someone who's maybe not ready at the same time, or you spend all the time doing their feedback and they don't give you any feedback. What I want to do is make sure that you guys are able to find someone. And then you're going to do the recording after that. So don't record it. I mean, you could do a practice recording, but then you can redo that. Okay. And then there's just a quick little discussion. That's today. Tomorrow, though, is the final thing. So like I said, I want you to use Google Sites if you can, and it's Google News Sites, and there's a link in the news feed from yesterday to help you with that. What you're going to do is you're going to create a digital anthology, and you're going to have your 3 analyses and your annotated bibliography. You're going to also put snippets and clips into your anthology. So for example, you may not have the full short story, but you might have a snippet of it. Or if you've chosen an actual novel, you might just put part of the novel into your anthology. And like I said, Google Sites works really well from that. It talks you through what you need to do. There's an exemplar here of one on the theme of war. So, and then also you guys are gonna take some time to talk about it together, about why it's a good exemplar. So maybe get on that today or even early tomorrow, so you have lots of time to do that. And then you are gonna watch and look at this criteria. And then here's the deal. If you use Google Sites, I'm gonna quickly pull it up because it's super easy to use. So here's how you do it quickly. Google, let's go Google Drive. So what you do is in your Google Drive, you're gonna open that up, and then you are going to access your news sites through this. It's the easiest way, and you're nice and organized. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up, I should have this ready for you guys. Just give me a second. English, e-learning. And I don't have a Unit 5 folder started yet for you guys, so I'm just going to go new. And then I'm going to go, if you look here under more, you're going to look for, it says Google Sites, and I think that's the right one. Let me just double check and see. Because Google Sites is the old version, and Google News Sites is the new one. So let's just make sure the symbol looked right. Where is it? Okay, this is embarrassing. We're going to actually, so I think, if I remember correctly, let's try that again. So Google Sites, click on that. And I think, if I remember correctly, there's an option to use the old or the new ones. We'll just give it a second. All right, so I guess it's just gone to Google News Sites in general because this is Google News Sites. So it's so easy. So your page title. So I'd be like, finding yourself, a digital anthology. And the cool thing about this site that's really great, it's super customizable, but it does all the work for you. For example, if you, like literally you pick a theme and it does all the fonts for you, and you can't even, like you can't change them. So, but in a good sort of way, because what happens is then if you just change the colors, you don't have to worry about things because it actually formats things to look nice. For example, it changes the color so you can read it well, the font, so it's a large enough size. And it's super easy. All you do is you go insert, text box. Then you do your texting. Hello, here is my anthology. And then if you want to embed any links, you can do that there. If you want to upload any files, you do that there. Images, same thing too. Make sure though, anything that you have, you need to make sure you cite if there's any pictures and that sort of thing. As well as Google has so many images that you can use already. So you can find your own pictures, but here, I can just quickly change. There you go, done. And it's, see, adjusting for readability. So I want you to try and use that if you can. I know some of you guys might be more comfortable with other things, but I really see, and it's adjusted so it's easier to read now. I would love for you to try this because I think this will be something that you're going to use next year and maybe the year after in school. So that's why I would recommend doing that. Okay, so I've talked enough about your portfolio. I hope that helps. I know it was a little bit rushed, but read the instructions super carefully because they are laid out well. And take a look at that exemplar. Even today, even if you don't comment today, just take a look at it today so you get a really good sense of where you're going with that. Any questions, let me know. I'm around today and most of tomorrow. I think I'm around for the most part as well. So just let me know if you have any questions. Take care. Bye.